Hello and welcome back. I'm your host with the most, TheChronicToast, and today we are diving right back into BeamNG.drive. That's right, your favorite automotive crashing soft body physics simulator. Today we've got a pretty fun scenario to take a look at. We're taking a look at car delivery. Over here you can see that it says you've got an expensive sports car loaded up on your Gavril T75, which looks like a van with a flatbed on the back, and take it to the new owner in the countryside. Difficulty is hard. Authors are BeamNG. The creation is August 9th, 2015, and the map is East Coast, USA. The goals are, of course, tailing and damage. Not quite sure what that's all about, but hey, if we get an opportunity to find out, we will do so. As I recall, this car is not strapped down particularly well or at all, and so if you bounce around too much, it might fall off the truck, which is not ideal. And I don't know if you can accelerate hard enough or brake hard enough to cause the car to fall off. We'll have to take a look and see about that. But either way, it is pretty darn cool. I enjoy this mission. It's a lot of fun. And I've never done it in first-person view before, so that'll be a lot of interesting adventure when we get to that point. So, car delivery. Deliver the Sunburst safely to a house in the countryside. Since you forgot your tie-down straps, the car will only have its own brakes to keep it from rolling off. Dangerous? Nah, it'll be fine. Just take it easy. Oh, man. And so as we usually do here the first time around, we're not going to worry too much about the clock. We're going to take a look at the vehicle that we've got here. It is automatically almost off-center, it looks like. So the vehicle is already tilting to one side. Not ideal. Grip All that is a fun name for this car. Hopefully it grips rather well and stays on. This is just a pretty bog standard van, it looks like, which is pretty cool. Not too shabby indeed. Drives, stops, goes pretty good. And the car seems to move around a little bit, but not too much. Pretty awesome. Seems like we'll have a pretty decent opportunity to get this to work the way that we want. And so without any further ado, let's kind of take a quick gander here at this map. Now we're gonna just basically we kind of see how the car the van handles. You can see the front end wants to kind of bounce around just a little bit. So if we kind of slam it to one side, you might see that the rear wheels are shifting. And so we just have to be a little bit careful with this. This is a pretty gutsless van, so we just got to be careful with the transition points, and I think we'll be fine. But with that being the case, we've got an idea of how it handles. We've got an idea of kind of what's going on with everything. And it looks like our lights are suddenly on, so that's pretty cool. But, oh, man. All right, so here we go. This is going to be our first opportunity to drive as fast as we possibly can. And with a third-person view, automatic transmission. And we're going to try this on the first attempt to try to just get there as quickly as we can, produce the best time possible, the least number of minutes and seconds. Now, that might take a few attempts. We're going to see what we can do here. And afterwards, we're going to go into the internal view, which will be a lot of fun because it's going to be difficult to see if the car is still attached. But usually you can feel a little bit of the weight transfer on the van, in this particular case, a little bit better. Now, if we need to, in order to complete, or we really feel it's going to give us an advantage, we will then try to go into first or third-person view again, but using the manual transmission to do what we can to get a little bit better time and to control the gearing, the throttle, the response time, and all of that. But with that being the case, let's go dive in. Let's go see what we can do, and let's have a little bit of fun, eh? Here we go. Oh, baby. Hammer down. Let's see what we got. If it bounces one way, we just got to keep in mind that we can always bounce it another way. That's the operational theory I'm going to work on, and we'll see what happens. Kind of surprised that the lights are on, but hey, it is what it is. Here we go. Oh, man. Got a yellow lights flashing. We're on business here. Now, we don't want to roll the van. Looks like actually we're already in trouble because we're going off-road. Did not quite expect that, but it does make sense, I suppose. Nothing wrong with that. Just all part of the fun. Oh, man. This is actually a relatively smooth road. We just got some corners up here we got to keep an eye on. Now, driving through these overgrown trees, first-person view, I think at a first blush is going to be a little bit easier to kind of get to grips of what's going on here and kind of see how it's rolling. But oh, that was a big jump that that vehicle definitely got airborne and left. Oh, man. I'm trying to use my brakes. Come on, don't hit a tree. That would be bad. This thing did not want to stop. That's certainly for sure. Oh, gosh. Oh gosh, bouncing around. Where are we going? You know, it's obviously it's been a little bit since I've done this before. Hmm. I don't recall having gone down all these crazy bumpy roads. So we need to take a good jump here to the right, is my guess, if we can, to kind of get this vehicle back where it's got to go. But unfortunately, we've got a left-hand turn up here, so not ideal. Hmm. Oh, that's not the way that I wanted that to go. I kind of want the back end to go the other way. Shoot! Not ideal. The car is at risk of falling off here, which would be definitely a delivery failure, if you ask me. We're not even stopping for these crossroads. We are just gunning it through and through and through. Got to be careful turning left because the car is gonna fall off. Just like that, probably. There it is. We failed. Oh man. Ah. Ick. Alrighty, so here we go again. Figured out that the letter M, as in manual, turns off the flashing light bars up top, so that is fantastic. Here we go. Let's see if we can't keep this car on here. We're going to be a little bit more conservative. There are no tie downs on it, so we do need to get this to where we got to go, and apparently we have to go off-road, which I was talking about the smoothness of that road. Apparently, as we saw in the previous attempt, it gets worse, which is not good. Oh, hey, there is a fire watch tower up on the top left. That's cool. I should probably watch the road, though. You never know where it's going to go. I'm definitely going to have to hang a right up here. And I got to be very careful that we keep this car attached. Now, as we know before, this band does not decide to oversteer very well. And so if you slam the brakes, it will lock up the tires, which is not ideal. And again, we talked about it being in first-person view. It would definitely be a lot easier to kind of navigate the corners here because you can see under the trees. But we're going to do the best that we can here. We got a little bit of knowledge about how much this might get us into trouble if we're not careful. Looks like there's some tree stumps and stuff there to the sides. Oh, and we got airborne. Not necessarily good. The car did shift to the left, though, which is nice. That's going to help us out quite a bit here. As we know from before, we're slowing down a little bit in advance just on that corner. That way we don't wreck stuff too hardcore. And the car, again, shifts to the left. That's potentially okay, I think. That'll help us out quite a bit. We do have some left-hand corners coming up and around here. So the question is going to be, is that going to bite us later after the bit that we've already been through that we don't know yet? We're only at 5, 6. We're only halfway done. And there's sections up here that we're just not very familiar with, ladies and gentlemen. This is a fun, interesting scenario. There's just like, man, again, this is not something that I expected that we would have to do in real life, but it's a fun what-if situation. Now, we are getting air. There are definitely opportunities here to lose this car some more. The back end is starting to shift over to the right again. It is centered once more. The big thing is once this thing gets airborne and the truck then shifts from the terrain that it's driving on, it's going to shift relative to where the car is because the car, once airborne, is going to keep going in the direction that it wants to go. Newton's third law and all that, I think that's the one about conservation of mass and motion and things like that, but I could be wrong. I am trying to focus on racing, which is actually a little bit more difficult than expected. And hey, ladies and gentlemen, here is the area. If we can get this thing to actually turn, we can get in here. There it is. It's a very fancy sports car for someone that does not have a garage. And that's all right. But, oh man, 2 minutes and 22.46 seconds. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Yeah, that's not too bad. Now, that being said, we are going to go in here, I believe. We're going to press that M button to turn off those lights. And we're going to get in here to the cockpit. And pretty simple, it looks like. And there is a rear window here, which is pretty cool. And so with that, we're not going to be able to see. We don't have the mirror fidelity up, I don't think. Oh, gosh. There it is. Oh, the gearbox was switched up. So we're going to go in and reset that to make sure that this is a legit attempt. Here it is, first-person view in automatic transmission. Now, again, we have no idea if the car is attached at all or not, so we're just going to try to take it somewhat easy, and we'll see if the mission ends on us at any point for some reason, anywhere along through here. Pretty cool little town up here. I don't know if I've ever really looked at the buildings and stuff like that, kind of the gribblies, the nice little side things that are rolling on there, all too closely, but it's a lot of fun. We want to try to slow down here as well. This thing does definitely want to understeer when you're braking. It's a long vehicle with a lot of weight on the back, so I'm not too surprised. But we will do what we can. Oh man, that van sounds really good. I noticed too here in first person, I'm a bit more cognizant of the things going over the road. So if we were to find that suddenly there's a tree a little bit too close over there, we could probably knock the back of this car off, which is not ideal. Here we go. It's going to be a bump if we're not careful. We do know this is coming up before, so we're going to slow down, keep that car a little bit more firmly planted, and we'll see what happens. As the description says, it'll be fine. This is fine. And wow, ladies and gentlemen, this looks really, really nice down here. Now I'm, again, trying to go the fastest I can while maintaining control. I'm trying to be a touch more conservative, maybe just because the back end is a little bit loose and it's hard to see where the car is. I definitely feel that there is a secondary mass with its own suspension in the back of this vehicle, being in the first-person view, because the van is not reacting quite how I'd expect it. You take some of these bigger hits and these dips and these dives, and suddenly the back end kind of wants to squirrel around on you, which is to be expected. I mean, it makes sense, right? You've got a big, giant car back here. Ooh, there it is, a big solid hit. No idea where that car is. It's still attached, though, because we are still going, and we are pushing and pushing and pushing. Again, we're going to try to slow down a little bit. Here we go. Gosh, there it is. And trying to keep some of the throttle control as possible. The van is leaning to the right, so I have a suspicion that we might lose this car here at some point. I don't want to steer too much, but we have to. We kind of have to. Oh, gosh. It is probably hanging off the right-hand side, which is not an ideal situation. But we are pretty close. We are 10 out of 12. We're coming up here. We've got one more to go. It's going to be the finish line. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Can we make this in time? Can we get this vehicle to turn in and do what we got to do? We're so close. We're so close. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Put the parking brake on. 2 minutes and 22.94 seconds. That's awfully close. And you can see here on this back right-hand side that this vehicle is definitely hanging off. That's not too shabby. So going a little bit slower, a little bit more cognizant of what our load is, we are definitely in a position to still complete this mission competitively, which is pretty darn cool. I love the flatbed they did on this thing, especially for this van here. It looks nice. Now that being said, we put it back into the free form. We're going to kind of continue to explore it just a wee little bit. And if the car falls off, the car falls off. Oh man, so I mean, I love this map. There's all sorts of like roadways and cool things around here. Kind of reminds me of some of the places we explored a long time ago when we were back in the Midwest. Just dirt roads and partial fields and things left over from logging eras. Just cool stuff. I love it. It's a lot of fun. And a farmland not too far away. It's just legit awesome. But this is a fun scenario. I like it. I'm curious if there is a mechanism to where we could enable or disable tie downs at some point in the future. So if anyone out there is looking to make a mod, possibly that would be the way to go. Same thing for the mod authors that are out there, as well as, oh gosh, we're going to lose the car. Oh man, it's making us steer a little bit wonky. And it's hanging on, and there it goes. The car is gone, and we are free. We'll just leave that there on the side of the road and let someone ask the question on what happened here. Not really sure. But with that being the case, looks like there's a T-junction coming up and a stop sign. We're going to do our best to blow through it. Oh, buddy, here we go. Oh man, solid impact here in the middle of the road as well on a blind hill. Not ideal. So that was not the smartest decision on a couple different ways to roll about it. Looks like our seats actually got pushed into the back. Looks like the frame actually bent down a little bit and the actual flatbed came into the cabin. Not ideal. The engine's still trying to run, but it's not in a healthy spot. You see the steam coming into the cab. Yeah, not ideal, not good. That would definitely be hurting your legs just a wee little bit. But, man, I love this stuff. I love this game. The scenarios are an absolute blast. Super fun. And this map is really cool. I mean, like, look at this. T-junctions, roads, dirt roads, all sorts of cool stuff. It just kind of reminds me of the way things are. You know, you can see the town is way over there doing a lot of nifty things. This reminds me of a small forested town with some farmland and stuff, which is pretty darn cool. But ladies and gentlemen, again, as always, thank you very much for stopping on by, checking out another scenario. It's been a lot of fun spending the time to hang out with all y'all, and definitely get some more crazy zany action going on. Again, if you see this game on Steam on sale, pick it up. It's a lot of fun. And definitely let me know what your thoughts are. If you do have this game, what your favorite scenario is down in the comment section down below. So as always, thank you very much for stopping on by and checking this out. And I'll see you next time. Have a good one.